Well, congratulations to Clemson and Coach Sweeney on an ACC championship, and deservedly so. It's a very good football team, really talented. They were well prepared, executed well, and so I was very impressed. Regarding our performance, I thought there were strong glimpses, especially offensively throughout the game, from what I saw from Bryce, but also there were times where we're controlling clock, moving the football, and holding on to momentum. Ultimately, the number of big plays by Clemson down the field, we didn't have consistent answers for their passing game, for their receivers, and certainly just couldn't make enough stops and didn't make enough stops to have a chance to be effective in the game. I'm proud of my football team. I love them, and I thought their preparation was strong. Our execution didn't hold at this level consistently enough to have a chance to win the football game. And so at this point, we look forward to learning everything we possibly can from this game, playing one more, and hopefully achieving a 10th win, which would mean a lot for this program and another bowl victory.
We'll take questions first for Bryce, and raise your hand. Let us get the handheld mic to you. Front row.
Bryce, you guys have talked so much about the idea of the unbroken growth, and where does this fit into the picture in terms of how much more has to come in this program before you can compete with a team like Clemson?
This game, it showed us exactly where, this program has to go to be able to compete with, 1, 2, 3, 4. And, every year we've gotten better, UVA's gotten better. So, I think this game is going to allow everybody else coming back and for the years to come to know exactly how much to give and how much more they have to give and execute, and how much more we have to execute at a higher level to be able to finally take over the ACC and achieve all our goals that we set out for.
Second row.
Yeah, Bryce, just talk about where you think things turned around. It looked like you did some good things in the first half. Where do you think you got astray?
We started going fast, kind of picking up tempo, and we were trying to balance that between controlling the clock and finding a right rhythm, which, we found ourselves having more success when we were kind of going fast, but also trying to, decide when and where to control the clock. So bouncing back and forth, allowed us to have some success. And the guys played great, catching difficult balls and the locations that they were in. And the line played incredibly. I'm super proud of those guys. And, all night, no matter what, those guys really played well.
Front row.
You answered my first question by saying it kind of showed where you were to get to that top 4 kind of level. I'm curious, some things went well, a lot of things didn't go well. As you walk away tonight, do you feel you were closer to that top 4 level or further than you thought coming into tonight?
I feel like we know as a team exactly what we need to do to improve. So, we're going to look at this film and get ready for the bowl game with the same mentality and a greater mentality, because we're going to play a really great team, and no matter who we play. So, and look at this film and kind of fix the mistakes and recognize, what we need to do as an offense to execute and score more points.
Second row to our left.
Bryce, when did you realize or know that Joe would be unable to play this evening, and how does that affect your offense?
It was a day-by-day kind of thing. He was rehabbing like crazy to get back to this game on Saturday. But, he didn't make it, and Billy Kemp, he got more action tonight as he has in the past couple of weeks, and other guys like Dejan and Dontavion's got more action. And, all the trust in those guys, we practiced with them all week, so, they knew what they had to do and execute at a high level. Missing Joe, he's a great asset to the offense, so, we missed him a lot, but, the guys stepped in and stepped up a lot tonight.
Other questions for Bryce? Front row. Go to our right first.
Bryce, you mentioned that this game gives you an idea of exactly what you need to do to improve. Could you list a couple of things that come to mind that you do have to improve on?
We just gotta, our physicality has to be greater, and mental errors also has we have to eliminate those. And in games like these against teams like that, we can't afford to have that many mental errors, and we can't afford to not execute on plays because as we've seen, the game can get out of hand, and and the great teams will capitalize off the mistakes. So we got to fix those, and our physicality level has to be greater.
Front row.
You talked about the challenge of playing without Joe. Hassis in his big game, what did he do so well, and did he maybe prove something tonight?
Yeah, definitely. He's a competitor. No matter where we're in, when we're in practice, he competes. No matter what he does, and so all the faith in him, and I know that he's going to compete for the ball and he's going to make the play. He probably has the best hands in America, and when the ball touches his hand, he doesn't drop it. So I think he definitely put a lot of people on notice.
To our left again.
Bryce, you had a couple 100-yard rushing games in November against Virginia Tech and North Carolina. What did Clemson do tonight to try to keep you contained?
Yeah, they had a lot of kind of spies going on. Number 11 was there on many of the plays, and then it was switched back and forth. So I think it was 43 was in the box a couple times. So they had a great game plan going on, but we definitely could have executed and scored more and kind of moved the ball. We kind of stalled at times because of our own lack of execution at times. So
Front row to our right.
Yeah, Bryce, you guys finishing with 387 yards of total offense against this defense, and especially without Joe. What do you can take away from that performance?
It shows the possibility and the capability of this offense, and we had 387, but we feel like we could have had more. We felt like we left a few yards out there, but it shows the growth from just I think October to now, and how far we've come as an offense, and how far we had to keep going to improve to be elite and to be considered as one of the best offenses in the nation.
Any other questions for Bryce? Last one, front row left.
How would you describe the gap between Clemson and the rest of the ACC?
Oh, it is. It's big. Coming out here tonight and just seeing it firsthand. They're a great team, and I think the gap between them and ACC is big. But I feel like we're closer than people think, and we played extremely well at times, and we executed. And there was glimpses of this Virginia team that can be one of the teams that battles with them from year to year here on out. So. It is big, but we have opportunity in the years coming up to closing that gap.
Okay, Bryce, thanks. You can
Thank you.
head back to the locker room. Okay, questions for Coach Mendenhall. Front row.
Yeah, Bronco, you've talked so much about the idea of unbroken growth, and obviously you've taken huge steps forward this season. Is tonight a setback or a logical step in your growth of this program?
I think it's more of the second. To qualify to get to the game is difficult and an accomplishment. The learnings from the game will propel us forward in a manner that wouldn't happen if we weren't in the game. And to play against the consistent winner of our league, the national champion 2 of the last 3 years, now we know what that looks like. And so without earning the chance to be here, measuring ourselves against that, seeing where the deficiencies are and how big they might be, hard to accelerate it even further without the reference points. So I think it's the next step and the next logical step, as well as the next bowl game that we play, knowing most likely it'll be a bigger stage, a quality opponent, and those are all things that are necessary to advance the program. So I think it's logical, I think it's sequential, and I think it's been earned by this team.
Front row to our left.
To ask your scout team offense to simulate what Clemson does is just an impossible task?
I think maybe for almost anyone in the nation to match their personnel and their execution would be difficult. They're very, very skilled at quarterback at an elite level, very skilled at running back at an elite level, very skilled at least 3 of the receiver positions with a very strong offensive front. So the personnel is national caliber, national championship caliber, an ACC championship caliber, not only across the board, but then including some depth. So, yeah, the chance to match that, very difficult. And the challenge that I think teams face when they play Clemson, at least what I learned and saw glimpses of throughout the week on film, is just where is it to steal an extra number? And as soon as you do that, the quarterback can run it, the running back can run it, the quarterback can throw it, the wide receivers can catch it short and long, and they can break tackles. So lots and lots of weapons and a very good scheme.
Second row.
Yeah, what happened with Jordan Mack? Was he injured going into the game? Was he injured more during the game?
He was injured going in. He's been really limited the past 3 weeks and is trying his best. He gets a couple reps each Thursday to try to get ready to play, but really his ankle doesn't allow him to prepare any more than that, and he's well under 100%. And so Nick Jackson, our first-year inside linebacker, is the one that's been filling in a role for him.
Second row to our left.
Bronco, how does that affect your ability to defend a team such as Clemson? What did you have to do to compensate?
The call sheet went deep, and so yeah, the running game for Clemson was effective tonight. But really, what was more effective was the quick strikes that were long and fast and deep on us. So we were inconsistent defending the run. You saw a few of them scored out for 20 or 15 yards, and that was just misfitting gaps. And that comes through a few extra players in there that didn't have quite as much experience, and just with consistency, and then having to beat blocks and get off those blocks that are a little bit more quality than what we've been doing. And then the combination of that then with the run and play action or the RPO where it looks like run, safeties then are playing run, and then the corners are isolated with downfield throws to very good wide receivers. We didn't have enough answers to defend those plays, and the ones we did have, we didn't execute well enough. So give Clemson credit.
Front row.
What special problems does T. Higgins present?
Wow. Just speed, athleticism, and a dynamic football player. Those things are, but I really can't say that just about him. You could put that moniker or those labels just about on anyone that touches the ball for Clemson. So I think he's one of a group of very strong weapons.
Front row to our right.
Understanding how talented they are at these positions, but how disappointing was some of the tackling on the perimeter that turned, short plays into long plays?
Oh, yeah. So that was my message to the team is I was impressed with Clemson and thought they were a very good football team, but I certainly don't think we played our best football defensively. I don't think we tackled consistently or well, and nor did we play the ball downfield consistently or well. So certainly acknowledging Clemson, their talent and their scheme and their execution has to be done. But to say that I was satisfied with our performance, I'm not.
Front row to our left.
When your team lost to Navy in the Military Bowl, you had to wait basically 9 months before you could get back on the field and apply some of the lessons you learned. Do you like the fact that in roughly 4 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe you'll get a chance to go out and do it again with this group in this season?
Yeah, I like that opportunity, and I like it for this group because, again, we're looking to continue to learn, grow, and advance. And so each year, the bowl game quality and tier seems to be escalating. The stage that it's on seems to be escalating. And so my job is to advance our program and have it match those stages at a really high level. And some of the challenges now as the roster becomes a little bit more limited, and then the stretch that applies on myself and the staff to compensate and give our guys the best chance, we have to do a better job there.
Middle of the room.
Coach Mendenhall, this is Chris Idell from Herbertson Radio. The opening drive, marching down the field, but you got the interception in the end zone. How great was that to start off against a really good team like Clemson, like right out of the gate?
It was great for our mindset. It showed a really nice level of preparation offensively, and that what we were capable of. And I think that held pretty much throughout the night. I think Clemson struggled to stop us consistently. We certainly stopped ourselves a couple times. but we moved the ball probably better than maybe anyone has against them this year, and that doesn't mean that that's a moral victory, but I thought our plan was good. I thought our execution, for the most part, was sound, and then we missed some opportunities.
Second row to our left.
Bronco, along those lines, you were 10 of 18 on third down, which is far better than anyone has done against Clemson this season. What were Bryce and his receivers able to do, and is that where you thought you might be able to do some business tonight?
We hoped that we'd be able to continue to convert third downs at a high level, which would then allow us to hold onto the ball longer and score. As the score started to expand, then we used tempo, and we thought then that we might be able to keep them on their heels, which did a little bit. They struggled with communication here and there as we increased our tempo. A lot went into our offensive plan, and Robert and I, over the past about 6 weeks, there's been a significant amount of work and improvement that's gone into our offense that has really helped kind of cover up some of the deficiencies that have shown up defensively through injury, and that's it just wasn't quite enough tonight on either side to make the game competitive from beginning to end, but I liked our offensive plan a lot.